Well, for more on this story, let's cross to Vela Finch. She's standing by for us in Washington. Thanks for joining us this morning, Vela. Is this a snub from Saudi Arabia failing to send King Salman?
Well, that's a good question. King Salman is one of 4 leaders not to be attending the summit, these talks at Camp David, the presidential retreat up in Maryland state. 6 leaders in total were invited. 4 of them are not attending. Now, many are saying this is a snub to the Obama administration, that this is in protest over this historic nuclear deal that the Obama administration is pursuing with Iran, which has been very unpopular. As a reminder, that deal would see a number of key sanctions lifted on Tehran in exchange for greater transparency and for more restrictions on its nuclear program. But these Gulf states are very worried about that. They are, of course, traditional allies of the US, and they don't want that relationship to be affected. And these who are worried about it include King Salman. Now, the White House, they say there's no problem. They say that President Obama spoke to the king just a couple of days ago. They say that it's quite common to send low-level representatives to these kinds of talks instead of leaders. And they're very much at pains to say that their relationship with this key ally is as strong as ever. Now, you might ask, why are these Gulf nations so worried about this deal? Well, they think that the money from this sanctions relief will be used to fund other militant groups in the region, such as Hezbollah, and they're very worried about that. That will create much more instability in the region, they say. But Obama, with this summit, he wants to show that the US Gulf alliance can survive these great tensions over the Iran deal.
Well, with Obama keen to paper over these cracks and fears, what's likely to be achieved at these talks, if anything?
Well, you said it, not very much. It's actually unlikely that we'll see anything very concrete at all. We may see some more military agreements between these Gulf allies and the US. On the table likely as well is the creation of an anti-missile defense shield that would enable the Persian Gulf to better protect itself against the Iranian nuclear threat. That's been something that's been pushed several times in the past. Now, what these Gulf nations really want is greater security guarantees from the US. In an ideal world, they'd like some kind of NATO-like treaty that would seek to protect them from these external threats like Iran. That's not really likely. Certainly that would be seen by many as an antagonism to the other US ally of Israel. And of course, it's something that the US doesn't want to do. It might draw them into future conflicts in the Persian Gulf or in the Middle East region. That's something they want to avoid. So really, the only likely outcome that we're going to see from these talks at Camp David is probably a simple pledge between these Gulf nations and the US to maintain that long-standing security cooperation in the region.
Okay, Vela Finch reporting from Washington this morning. Thank you very much for that analysis.